it's Gemma here, and today I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to do the crystal and minerals tag. This tag was started by Sean and Lynn from the channel Dreaming of Avalon, and they've got a really nice channel talking about different things regarding healing and metaphysics and that kind of thing. So it's a really interesting channel. However, I actually found out about this tag through the lovely Owlvine Green, and Owlvine is a relative newcomer to YouTube. But if you have not checked out Owlvine yet, you absolutely have to. She is fantastic. She is such a delight to watch. She's just really well spoken about her path and her practice. She's got a really wild and witchy kind of earth-centric practice that she lets you have that little bit of a glimpse into on YouTube. And I think it's a real privilege when you get to see that here on YouTube. And she's gaining subscribers quite quickly. Like, I don't really buy that whole thing that YouTube is going downhill, you know, there's no good pagan YouTubers anymore. There's a lot of really great up-and-comers, and Owlvine is one to watch. I'm going to call it. She is fantastic. She is so great to watch. But anyway, I'm going to stop gushing about Owlvine and get into this tag, because I told her that I would do this tag like 50 million years ago, and I'm finally getting around to doing it now. So yay, let's talk about crystals and minerals. Woohoo, one of my favorite things. So the first question in this tag is, how did you first get into crystals and minerals? That's a little bit of a long story. I actually first became interested in crystals and minerals before I ever knew anything about their metaphysical or woo-woo kind of properties. My grandfather is interested in different minerals and mining and gem cutting and that kind of thing, so he had some specimens around the house, which I really loved growing up. And yeah, I just always thought that they were beautiful. I was fascinated by the fact that the earth made these things and that just looked so beautiful. And to this day, I have a real passion for rough specimens. Some people really love your beautiful carved specimens and polished specimens and that kind of thing. And I do too, to an extent, especially when you can get a nice tumble that fits nicely in a little spell bag or that kind of thing. And they're just really easy to use in spell work, or to, you know, pop in your handbag, pop in your bra and or your pocket and get around the place, and just have them there for a bit of support, I guess, like that little bit of a magical boost. Or you know, I love my polished palm stones. I'll just see if I've got it here. This is my laboradite palm stone, or labradorite, however you say it. It's got some beautiful flashes in it, and I picked this one up on special, and it just fits so nicely in the palm of my hand, and it's really beautiful. So yeah, I did eventually find out about the metaphysical properties of crystals, and obviously I love them for that reason as well. So, but I'll get into that in a question that's further down in the tag. So the second question is, how many crystals do you have? I could not honestly answer that question. I've got far too many to count. I actually don't even know where some of my crystals are. I haven't seen them since we moved, and I'm still unpacking a few things. Like, I've unpacked a fair bit since the baby was born and I stopped being pregnant and that kind of thing. But I do still have some boxes to unpack, and there are crystals that I don't know where they are. But anyway, just to give you an idea, this is my jar of tumbles. So it's this big jar, and it's about halfway full just of various tumbles. So yes, I do have quite a lot of tumbles, and I also have a lot of rough specimens. Some of them are quite large. None of them are very expensive though. That's what I love about rough specimens. Like, this is my piece of sodalite, and that only cost me $10. Where I've seen little polished specimens of sodalite which are way more expensive than that. And this is the most expensive crystal that I own, actually. This is a piece of, it's a cluster of celestite, and that cost me $40. That's the most expensive crystal that I actually own. Yeah. And my most recent crystal acquisitions were these two big chunks of rough tiger's eye. I have never seen tiger's eye in its rough form before. Like, you can even see on the bottom there, they had a sticker that says tiger's eye. And I've got these from a pet shop. My husband and I were looking at fish tank ornaments, because my husband has a fish tank hobby. I was going to say habit, but it's a hobby. That's how he describes it anyway, but it's a habit. But I have a crystal habit as well, and a tarot habit, so it's all good. He can have his fish tank habit. I'm fine with that. But yeah, anyway, just I've never seen tiger's eye in its rough form before, and they weren't very expensive at all. They were $5 each. So I got both of these for $10. And I was just like, yeah, Missy Mumu's having something to say as well. Hopefully she'll stay content throughout this video. But yeah, so I can't count how many crystals I have. I've got them all over my altar. I've got a couple on my shrine upstairs, as you saw in my last video. And I've got them on this little thing, which is where I keep all my tarot and oracle decks. And yeah, more where I don't even know where they are. So I've got heaps. Probably, I don't know if they would be into the hundreds. Yeah, probably into the hundreds. I would have at least 100 crystals. If you could own only one crystal or mineral for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Okay, I'm not sure if they're talking about a specific mineral or a specific specimen, but it would have to be amethyst by a long shot. Amethyst is one of my favorite crystals ever. And it would be something like just a little point like this. I've actually got some larger ones of these that I don't know where they are. So if I could only own one specimen for the rest of my life, it would be one of them because they fit really nicely in my hand to meditate with. This one's a bit small, but it's really beautiful. Or this standing point would come a close second. This one I picked up relatively inexpensively as well because someone was selling off their collection. And it's got some nice rainbows in it and stuff. It's just gorgeous, and it's flat on the bottom so it can stand up on my altar or in the middle of a grid or something like that. So I really love this one. And I have missed a question. I always do this when I do tags. I'm notoriously bad at tags. But what was your first ever crystal? Okay, I distinctly remember, and I don't own these crystals anymore unfortunately, but going to a market when I was about 11 or 12, and they had a bowl of these beautiful little tumbled rose quartz and clear quartz crystals, and I picked up a few of them. Like I picked up a couple of pieces of rose quartz and clear quartz, and I didn't really know anything about the craft or anything metaphysical at that stage. The extent of my knowledge was probably a little bit about astrology and that kind of thing, but I just loved these crystals. I loved playing with them. I would hold them in my hands and they just made me feel good. I couldn't explain it, and I've been hooked ever since on buying crystals. It was kind of like, oh, Missy Mumu, here, you come and be in the video. We'll see if you'll be content. Hey, you want to be in the video? There you are. Ha-ha. Hopefully she'll stay content. So yeah, it was like a guiding star moment for me, and that's why I'm addicted to buying crystals to this day, because they were just so beautiful, and yeah, it was really lovely. Yeah, it's just nice to have that memory of why I love crystals so much. But yeah, so is there any crystal or mineral not in your collection that you would love to have? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I've ticked off most of my wish list of things that I specifically wanted. Like last year I put it out to the universe that I wanted a piece of peach moonstone, and I found the most gorgeous piece of peach moonstone that I just absolutely love, and it's my precious. Yeah, I honestly couldn't say. Like I actually think that I have enough crystals, and I've stopped buying them, but then I just keep seeing things that I fall in love with, like those big huge chunks. I'll probably like get them polished or something at some stage for my husband to put in his fish tanks, because we argue over crystals because he loves to put them in his fish tanks. But yeah, anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed watching this tag, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!